And happy Friday, fight fans, and welcome to Inside the Fence. No longer on No Game Schedule. Obviously, still have a good relationship with the people over there, but with the new era of the UFC, the Paramount Plus era, we decided that it was time to make some changes here. So Drew went and got plastic surgery to make himself look like Sean O'Malley.
It's actually just a wig, but yeah.
Fun fact about this: the fighting gym that me and Drew go to on Halloween, the day after Halloween, so November 1st, there was an event where everyone in the class dressed up, and so Drew dressed up as Sean O'Malley, had face tats and this wig, and Drew won the costume contest. So
even with the O'Malley hoodie on too, I don't think the people can see it, but it does say O'Malley on the back.
We believe you. We believe you. But let's get right into it. UFC 324, the first card of the year, the first card in the Paramount Plus era. Already off to a rough start. This one is titled UFC 324, Gaethje vs. Pimblett. This is originally not what the card was called. It was UFC 324, Gaethje vs. Pimblett, and Harrison versus Nunez, and Kayla Harrison dropped out. Drew, do you want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, so apparently from what Ali Abdelaziz said, we really can't trust much that guy says, but Kayla Harrison had a visit with the doctor to see if she'd be cleared for her fight. They found 2 herniated discs in her neck, and she has surgery, and she's out at least 6 months. Myself and a lot of other fight fans around the world think that this is going to be a lot longer than 6 months, potentially being permanent, but it's too early to tell. And what really sucks is that we were probably going to see the greatest fight in the history of women's MMA come Saturday night, and now it looks like that fight might never happen. So we shall see. I don't see Amanda Nunez coming back to fight anybody but Kayla, so we're just going to have to see how that one pans out. And as terrible as it is, we just have to wait.
Yeah, it's a situation where Amanda Nunez is, she's already past the end of her line. Like, she was never really going to fight ever again. And then Kayla Harrison went on this insane run, and both of them mutually, I know she technically called her out, but she mutually agreed to fight her. And so now, number one, we don't know when Kayla Harrison's going to come back, which just extends both of their ages. They're both pretty old for fighters. So it's unfortunate we're never going to get to see this fight, probably. Hopefully one day we get to talk about it on this channel. Maybe we'll talk about what would have happened in the future. But let's get started with the main card of UFC 324, starting with a featherweight bout between the number 6 ranked Arnold Allen, and the number 10 ranked Gene Silva. Odds, which are subject to change, has Silva as minus 275 and Allen at plus 225. Drew, this is the first card. This is the first fight of the year where you and I disagree on of the outcome, so you go first.
Yeah, I think taking Gene Silva in this fight. I know that he got absolutely mauled by Diego, but you got to look at Gene Silva. He's an absolute maniac. His style is incredibly hard to game plan against. It seems like his strikes come out of nowhere, and he's a phenomenal wrestler. He subbed Bryce Mitchell, who is a very highly ranked black belt. I'm not sure what degree his is, but it is not just a single degree black belt. And to sub Bryce Mitchell the way he did was very impressive.
If Bryce Mitchell has a belt, it's probably made of like aluminum foil to protect him from like rays or something.
Probably, I don't know. It's probably made of seat belts because he doesn't believe in them. So, but yeah, I think that even though Arnold Allen is the vet with a lot more UFC fights and has gone up against a lot better competition than Silva, I think that at this point in time, Gene Silva's looking to have that big comeback win. And I think that we're going to get to see that Gene Silva, emerge and get his hand raised.
I think Allen's going to have that big comeback win. Obviously, Silva's significantly more active than Allen is. I think Allen's last fight was in 24, so he didn't fight all last year.
That is correct, yes.
But the problem for me, you talk about being active, and you talk about that Lopez fight. Go look up the photos of Gene Silva's head after the Lopez fight. It was bad, dude. He got battered, significantly. And that fight wasn't really that long ago. We're talking about less than 6 months. So for me, you talk about you're coming off of a pretty substantial injury. I don't know. You talk about this all the time. You come back from an injury, no matter what it is, who knows how significant your body is healed up. But you're talking about headshots. I don't know if Gene Silva has recovered enough for this fight, and that's why I give it to Allen, who, he hasn't fought in a couple of years, but that also means it's a year's worth of rest. So I give it to Allen on this one.
I absolutely agree with you. I think this fight is a lot closer than the odds are calling it. I mean, Jean Silva should be a slight favorite, but not to the degree of minus 275, especially coming off a loss like that. I think that he should be closer to about minus 150, minus 175. But Allen has a lot of power and pop, and we could easily see this fight go the way. This is one of I have 3 potential fight of the night picks, and I believe that this is definitely one of them that could easily be fight of the night.
Is this the one that I said? Did I say this?
I believe so. I believe so. I think, yeah.
I mean, Joan Silva's entertaining. I mean, he's a remarkable fighter. I know you like him a lot. Great fighter. Again, I just don't know if mentally, with the damage to his head from the Lopez fight, I don't know if he's ready to fully be in the octagon yet. I give him credit for being in there on this short of a turnaround compared to what he went up against. But man, it's going to be really interesting. Let's move up to the women's flyweight bout between number 6, Rose Namajunas, and number 2, Natalia Silva. This is the biggest odds swing of the night, in the main card at least. We don't want to talk about the last fight of the prelim. Silva right now a minus 400, and Rose is a plus 300. Drew, go ahead.
I do not understand why these odds are the way they are. I think Natalia Silva should be at least minus 1,000 in this fight, and call me crazy. I mean, if you see any of
what, should be more.
God, yeah. Have you seen the way this girl fights? She absolutely decimated Grasso. She is the fastest fighter in the UFC. The way her strikes and footwork come out of nowhere, you can't hit what you don't see. You can't hit what you can't catch. So for that reason, I think Natalia Silva is just going to absolutely just pour it on Rose and just absolutely run away with the fight via a 30-27 unanimous decision. She's entertaining. She's young. She's going to be a future champ once Valentina eventually retires because, she can't fight forever. But I see Silva being definitely as my lock as a future champ. I know she's going to have about an inch in height disadvantage. She's going to have a couple inches less in leg reach, but her speed's going to be able to get in and get out because Rose is a slow power almost brawler. Like, look how she beat Joanna twice. She beat Zhang Wei Li twice. And it was all with big power bombs. And I feel like she especially is going to have a very bad stylistic matchup with Natalia just because she's not a high-volume striker like Natalia is.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. I'm also taking Silva. I have some notes here. This I find interesting. Silva lands 5.04 significant strikes per minute with a 46% accuracy rate. You were talking about speed, and we say it all the time, speed kills. That's insane. I mean, that obviously it's, different weight classes, different, men's versus women, but like that's on par with like what Joshua Van and Brandon Royval were doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's insane.
Yeah, and it's crazy because she lands at such a high. She doesn't land at a high percentage. If she was landing at 60 or 70%, that would be even more wild to me. But she's very fast. I don't think she has the knockout power to knock out anybody. But when you don't get hit, you're gonna win every round you fight. So for that reason, just give me Natalia Silva. I know that Rose is a former champ. I don't understand why Natalia Silva would step in and take on this fight in short notice, other than to maybe solidify herself as a title contender. Mm-hmm. Maybe her versus Valentina at the White House. Wink, wink. Dana, listen to me. Book that fight. But yeah,
I think Monday.
Yeah,
he was on. We're recording this on Thursday. He said today on the Pat McAfee show that fight's going to be this weekend, and then come Monday he's going to plan the White House fight, so looking forward to that. I think Natalia Silva right now is just collecting former champs like Infinity Stones, and she's just looking to add more onto her list. I agree with you with her being a future champ. We'll just have to wait and see what happens at the top of the weight class. Let's move up to...
Let's touch on one more quick thing about Natalia Silva is how young she is. If I'm not mistaken, she's 24, and that is extremely, extremely young to have this good of a record, and it's crazy because she has 5 wins by knockout and 7 by sub. She doesn't have a lot of fights by decision. She's on a 13 fight overall win streak, including the UFC and the past promotion. So with this absolute mauling of Rose Namajunas, she's on a track straight to the top.
Let's move up to the heavyweight bout, the men's heavyweight bout between the number 5 ranked Waldo Cortez Acosta versus the number 8 ranked Derek Black Beast. My balls was hot. USA in this hoe. My wife next. Where Ronda Rousey's fine ass at. Anything else? What else did you say?
Trump called me, told me to knock this Russian motherfucker out.
Trump called me. You know, they're making him look bad on the news and shit. I gotta knock this Russian mother out. That's what they talking about. You was saying so. Lewis. I think that's all of his nicknames. I think we got all of them. You and I are split on this one again. It pains me, but we are split. Right now, the odds are for Cortez Acosta minus 334 and Derek Lewis a plus 25. I'm going to go first here because I know I am agreeing with you. This is one of those fights and situations I know people are going to call me a hypocrite. I'm rooting for Derek Lewis. I'm a Derek Lewis fan. First of all, I would like to meet someone who's not a Derek Lewis fan. I don't know how you can't be. He's funny, he's charismatic, and he's...
You can go meet Waldo Cortez Acosta. He's not a Derek Lewis fan.
I mean, he might be. But
no, he is not.
I am taking Waldo Cortez Acosta in this one. This is just a situation. Derek Lewis is 40. I mean, at the end of the day, he is eventually going to have to reach the end of his fighting journey. And every fight, you know, from pretty much from this point on, it's like, hey, can this be it, really? He's going up against a guy who's incredibly fast, faster, younger, I think stronger. You disagree with me on that. And I think just this is a situation where time catches up to Derek Lewis. I don't want it to happen, but I'm going to take Waldo in this fight.
I know it hurts you, and I also want to hurt you for making that pick, but give me Derek Lewis, okay? He said after he beat Taliesin Teixeira, which everybody and their brother counted him out, other than probably me and a handful of fans, he said, I want that cab driver, Waldo Cortez, whatever the fuck his name is, that's who he wanted to fight, okay? I do not care how old Derek Lewis is. I will always remember him going 3 rounds with Prime Ngannou and winning. There are only 2 people that have beat Francis Ngannou in the UFC, and he is one of them. I do not care. I don't want to hear this was 5 years ago. No. Derek Lewis has the most funky, weird strikes, and it's not even up for debate. His punches come out of nowhere. They're all bombs. They're all aiming to take your head off. Derek Lewis is going to knock this guy out and put an end to this hype train real quick come Friday night. And then he's going to call out someone, and then Trump's probably going to call him on the phone, and he's going to stand there with his shorts off on the phone with Donald Trump while he gets his hand raised. And that's the fucking scene right there.
That's the scene. There's just really no more else to say because that puts it into great perspective. Moving up to the co-main event, which originally was the third to last fight of the night. Everything got shipped. What fight got moved up from the prelims to this one? Was it the
Silva-Allen fight? Yes.
Yeah, it was. Okay, just checking. So the co-main event is now a bantamweight bout between the number 3 ranked Sean O'Malley, who has not fought in a while. And that's not true. He fought last year. Sorry for saying that.
He did.
The number 5 ranked Song Yadong. Right now, O'Malley a minus 200. I feel like it's just been forever since I've seen O'Malley fight. I feel like it's been forever since he lost to
Merab the second time.
Yeah, I feel like it's been forever. And Yadong a plus 170. I'll start with this one. Me and Drew are going to be combined from here on out. I'm taking O'Malley on this one. Do I want to say for vibes? Yes. Realistically, though, in his last fight against Merab, he was, off the weed, off the hub, off of all the bad stuff for him. And then clearly that didn't work. Actually, it did the opposite effect. It was one of his worst fights ever, his last fight against Merab. So he went back to all of his goofy shit, and I think he's just going to blow this guy out of the water.
I mean, yeah, welcome to the Sugar Show, okay? You see, we got the UFC cards of O'Malley, okay?
Can you imagine, by the way, for the folks at home, can you imagine if Drew dressed up as Sean O'Malley and then didn't pick Sean O'Malley?
I mean,
that'd be the greatest bait and switch of all time.
Anyways, welcome to the Sugar Show. The guy that said, I won't beat my dong, but I will beat ya dong, okay? So, Song Yadong's going down. The guy who wore a COVID mask in the face-off as just a right to Song Yadong, okay? Anyways, let's actually break down this fight, because this is the one that I'm most excited for on this card. Sean O'Malley is a fight... Go ahead.
A lot of people are predicting, mainly because he's not great at it, that Yadong is not going to grapple with O'Malley, right? Everyone's thinking that this fight is just going to be a boxing match or a striking match, which that's what everyone wants to see a majority of the time. And let me tell you something. The only reason that Merab absolutely dominated O'Malley in the last 2 fights is because that's what Merab does. He takes it to the mat, right? Subs people or waits them out. Insane cardio. Let's go back and look at his catalog of fights. If you try to stand still and go blow for blow with Sean O'Malley, you're losing. It's not happening.
Peter Yan lost.
Yeah, so you're agreeing with me.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Peter Yan lost to O'Malley.
So I think the way this fight's going to be, I think Yadong is going to try to stand toe-to-toe with him, and I think it's just going to be a really bad decision. He's going to lose.
I mean, let's break this down. It's because O'Malley is a 5'11" bantamweight with a 72-inch reach and a 40-inch leg reach. He has the absolute perfect archetype for a bantamweight that I've ever seen. And he is a high-volume, high-power striker that any one of his punches can put your lights out. Unless you're Cheeto and you can just eat anything and everything but the kitchen sink. They have given him the most perfect stylistic matchup in a shorter, low-volume striker. That is what O'Malley does very well against, and it seems like it is a dream matchup for O'Malley and a nightmare matchup for Song Yadong. Because Song Yadong will match up well against a Cheeto Vera, a Corey Sandhagen, a Henry Cejudo. He does not match up well with these guys that are a lot bigger and faster than he is. Peter Yan pieced this guy up on the undercard of O'Malley's first title defense against Cheeto. So, if that says anything about, the power level of Song Yadong, I do not think it's on par with Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley's quicker, bigger, and his reach is going to be able to, he's going to be able to sit on the outside and just pick Song Yadong apart and probably wind up putting his lights out in the first or second round. So if you're talking about a perfect stylistic matchup, it does not get much better than Song Yadong for Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, right now, looking at the odds, the win by odds, right now it's KO or TKO. O'Malley's at 67%, Yadong at 41%. And then if you go down to the subsection, 6% for O'Malley and 14% for Yadong. So literally no one is expecting this to be a wrestling match or a grappling match whatsoever. This is just going to be... You know what I'm expecting here? You know what? You said this was also going to be another one of your fights of the night. I'll spoil that for the fans. I'm fully expecting another version of Van versus Royval in this situation. I'm expecting because there's so much these two guys have to fight for. Number one, Petr Yan has the belt, and O'Malley can piece him up the last time. He's confident enough that he can piece him up again, so he wants a title shot. And winning this fight grants him one, I think. I think Merab should take some time off. And Yadong has not been taken seriously by the UFC. I mean, we're really not taking him seriously now, if we're being completely and totally honest. And I think taking out a guy like O'Malley, who has had time to rest, recuperate, and, in the first 3 minutes of this fight, you're going to be able to see if O'Malley is back to his top form. I think that's very obvious. Yadong has the opportunity here to prove that he's not, an industry plant like most people have called him. He is here to stay in. I mean, he's 22-8, right? One tie, one no contest. And so I think he has the opportunity here to really make some waves. And O'Malley has the same way too. So I think this fight means a lot for both fighters, and that's what makes it interesting to me.
Absolutely, I agree 100% because it's either O'Malley knows that him and Peter Yan have a score to settle because that fight was a split decision that not a lot of people thought O'Malley won, and myself included, I was unsure watching that fight if O'Malley had really done enough to get his hand raised. I thought it was razor close, but it was also a fight to where whoever's hand got raised, people were going to be pissed off just because, it was that close of a fight. And so he has a score to settle with Peter Yan. And I guess Song Yadong does too, but it's not as bad as O'Malley because O'Malley went from number 11th ranked contender to number 1 overnight, similar to how Van went from being number 11 to number 1. And then he eventually got that crack at the belt. And I feel like the UFC would rather book Sugar Sean and Peter Yan at the White House than Peter Yan and Merab because O'Malley's just a simple fact that O'Malley's American and it's going to be on American soil and Trump likes Sean O'Malley. So this is a big moment because he knows he's going to be able to get or attempt to get his get back at Peter Yan. So it's going to be a great fight. I have this one being a fight of the night if there's not a first or second round by knockout by Sean O'Malley. So we shall see.
So let's move on to the final fight of the night. The main event. This was always the main event. It may not be. It may not be. The number 4 ranked Justin Gaethje versus the number 5 ranked Paddy Pimblett. Let me drink some water real quick. The hydration station. This is the lightweight interim title bout between Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. Gaethje is a plus 187, Pimblett a minus 180. This fight is very close. Now, for those of you who are new to the UFC, who are joining, the fan base after in the new era here, we are going to do a little bit of explaining to do, right? So why this is an interim belt. So a couple things we need to explain. Number one, the current lightweight champion is Ilia Topuria. He is dealing with personal, trouble in the home life, and so he is taking a break from fighting. He is not vacating the belt. The UFC said he doesn't have to vacate the belt. So an interim title, there has to be a contending champion, and so the interim title is for someone to hold the belt, and people can fight for it, and then hopefully at the end of the day they can unify it so the actual champion can fight the interim champion and be like that. So Ilia Topuria is not fighting. The number one ranked contender, we're going to take a break on that. The number two ranked contender, and Drew, by the way, you can stop me if I'm wrong at any point here. The number two ranked contender, Charles Oliveira, has already fought Ilia Topuria. He lost. That's why Ilia Topuria has the lightweight belt. But Charles Oliveira, the number two ranked contender, and Max Holloway, the number three ranked contender, are already booked to fight 2 cards from now. Okay, so they are out of the picture here. They are in fight camp for their fight. So number 4 and number 5, Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett, are the next 2 top fighters to compete for the belt. Now, as I said, number 1 ranked Arman Tsarukyan is not getting a shot to have the interim title belt, even though he is the highest ranked contender in this weight class. The reason Arman Tsarukyan is not getting an interim title shot here is for a couple reasons, right? But the main one being is that the UFC does not trust Arman Tsarukyan, and they are somewhat punishing him at this moment. Because he has not made weight, I think, 2 times. And he has publicly outed UFC President Dana White, and he is being punished, and that is why the number 4 and the number 5 are fighting for the interim title belt, even though the number 1 is available. Drew, was any of that incorrect?
No, that was better than 99% of people could have explained it, so there you go.
Thank you. So that is where we are now. The number 4 and the number 5 are competing, okay? There's another reason, too. There's another reason for this, I think. This is my opinion. This has not been outed. The UFC wants to see Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett fight because there is off-the-octagon beef between these two, and they love that. They want to see that come to fruition, and they want to see those 2 guys fight, so the easiest way to do that is to have Paddy win the interim belt, and then they're going to unify the belts against Ilia Topuria in, 8 months or whatever the time is.
Yeah, that's how it's going to go, yeah.
So that's the end of it. That's the rankings. That's the whole story behind this interim fight. Now let's talk about the fight itself. I'm taking Pimblett mainly for the same reasons that probably Drew will. Justin Gaethje is old, and for whatever reason, the UFC has been feeding old fighters to Paddy Pimblett. His last fight against Michael Chandler, he beat Tony Ferguson. Who's the other person I'm missing there?
There's a couple more in there. That Jared Gordon was in there.
Yeah, but Paddy Pimblett historically in his UFC contracts has absolutely just annihilated fighters who are kind of already out, already at the door. And Justin Gaethje is just the next person in that chapter, going up against someone who's very electric. He's a great fighter. I don't know why people say he's not. He's youthful. He's fast, and he's a pretty good, well-rounded guy. We'll talk more about that later. But Drew, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going with, oh, Paddy the Baddy. You can't, I don't know why I'm picking Paddy here. Actually, I do, because I'm a Scalza. We don't get knocked out. Justin Gaethje has to knock out Paddy to win. That's the only thing. I don't think that Gaethje's going to be able to weather the storm for 5 rounds of Paddy. I know he weathered the storm for 5 rounds of Max Holloway, but Paddy's a freak. You have to deal with so much stuff with Paddy. He has the strength to just stand up. You can't take him down. You can't pin him down. You have to knock this guy out to stop him, and nobody in the UFC has done that yet. I know that Gaethje's electric. He's not past his prime by much at all. He looked very good in his last fight against Rafael Fiziev and just manhandled him for 3 rounds. But I think this fight is a lot closer than people are going to think it is, but I am still taking Paddy the Baddy in this fight.
I'm going to take Paddy as well. So there's 2 things I want to talk about real quick. Number 1, English fighters, for whatever reason, incredibly well-rounded. I don't know if that's their style.
Unless your name's Molly McCann.
That's very true. That's very true. Good point. But I mean, obviously, you look at the two biggest, English fighters, in the men's division you can think of. Obviously, Tom is up there, but also Michael Bisping. Very well rounded, good striking, grappling, kickboxing, good on the ground, good on their feet.
I mean, you're missing Lerone Murphy too, who's a hell of a fighter.
Of course. So I don't know if that's just what their style is, just to be well rounded. But for just take note of that, English fighters. Again, for the new fans who are stepping in here. English fighters, very well-rounded. Drew, you were telling me about this today when we were working out. What is this about Gaethje having a staph infection, and there is a rumor that Arman Tsarukyan is going to be the last-second step-in?
So apparently Gaethje, people noticed this in the UFC Embedded episode, what looked like a staph infection on the side of his neck, but he said it was an ingrown hair. As far as I know, that sore has not healed. So if it's open, the UFC will not let him fight on Saturday, and Arman says he's ready to make weight. We will see tomorrow morning in the weigh-ins what happens, because I do not see Arman Tsarukyan weighing in at all in the morning, even though that's why I'm definitely watching weigh-ins. But as right now, as far as we know, it's just a rumor. Dana has not confirmed it. Nobody in the UFC brass has confirmed it. So as of right now, I think as it says, it's just a rumor.
Very odd.
But if Arman steps in against Paddy, Arman's going to kill him. I hate to say it, but that's how this fight's going to go.
Arman's a great fighter. Arman's a really great fighter. It's all the camel meat that he's been eating.
Arman's a great fighter, but as soon as he steps out of the cage, he turns into a moron.
Yes, very true. Very true. This card is this UFC era, the Paramount Plus era, is off to a rocky start. It really is. We get another fight next week. We're going to have another video.
Back-to-back pay-per-views. That does not happen.
I love it. But there's also no fights in February.
There's a couple. There's a couple.
No main events in February.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, we get to see the French axe murderer fight next week. I'm excited for that. We get to see Volk potentially retire. I'm excited for that. So we're going to have 2 more videos, hopefully between this Friday and next Friday, so hopefully you guys tune in for that. But that is our predictions for UFC 324. For fans of the show wondering where the final round questions and the final round questions are, those are just going to be their own videos now as we try to diversify our portfolio here on the channel. And as always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy UFC 324 wherever it is you're watching. Even though we know where you're watching, let me tell you something, Drew. I'm still watching in the usual channels.
I don't know. I have Paramount, so it's all right. I guess so long, my friend.
Yeah, money bags over here. That's Drew the Rooster Johnson, and I'm John, the Double Champ Casual Master. Thank you for watching, and have a good fight night.